Well, I wasn't filming like I thought I was anyway. Somebody had a seizure, it looks like. So, hopefully everything comes out fine. Luckily, they were right here. So, fire rescue unit. So anyway, we'll left these. Found these. She said he found these and he brought them. What can you... Oh, okay. Oh, are these the same thing that Michael had? Looks familiar. Everything you need to know about sweeps. Okay. What is a sweep? I'm sure you've heard the expression sweep if under the rug. This is exactly what the city of Denver is doing when they sweep unhoused communities without offering real housing options. A sweep is the process of forcibly removing unhoused people from their encampment. On the day of a sweep, residents of encampments are told to gather as many of their belongings as possible and move along to somewhere else. The sweep process typically involves the needless destruction of people's personal belongings. Sometimes residents will opt to have their belongings placed in a temporary storage unit. But historically, people have had an incredibly difficult time actually accessing their belongings when they choose this option. And that's the truth. And we were talking about this. Earlier. The things that I saw go into the dumpster today, right? This morning. It doesn't look like trash. It looks like people's belongings, right? So Anna said, people have a tremendous burden of trying to decide what they can take with them, what is essential to their survival, and what they have to leave behind, because they don't have the means to carry all their belongings with them, as the city tells them to move along. So they end up losing stuff. Every time they're swept away. How can you expect to? Oh, here comes another ambulance. I hope everything's okay. Over there. It's over there. I guess not. But anyway, how can you expect them to make any forward progress if you have to keep starting over and over and over and over again? Who gets swept? This is reading time, guys. And I should have my glasses on, I guess. Who gets swept? There are 6,000. This says there are 6,000 unhoused people living within the city of Denver. Denver Homeless Out Loud reports 1,752 Black, Indigenous, and or people of color experienced homelessness in Denver in January of 2020. This is a known undercount and disproportionate compared to the Denver population. Rapid gentrification in cities like Denver inevitably lead to poor and working class people being displaced from their homes. When people are unhoused, they are then thrust into the endless cycle of being swept from one place to the next. Often the place where folks move to is then posted to be swept again next. Yes, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened last week. That's exactly what Barry was telling me what happened last week. Or was it Katie was telling me? They were swept away, and then the next week they were swept again. Why do sweeps happen? The crisis of homelessness is sometimes referred to as the most invisible. I'm sorry, guys. The crisis of homelessness is sometimes referred to as the most invisible problem in plain sight. The city of Denver hates having to acknowledge human suffering. Denver residents also hate having to engage with suffering when they walk out their front door. Those involved in facilitating sweeps are claiming to be solving the crisis of homelessness, when really they're just trying to make the people disappear. That's the truth. The city of Denver cites unsafe and unsanitary conditions as a main reason for the sweeps. However, on November 2nd, 2020, City Council voted 12-1 against the following amendments to the city budget. The first would provide trash services to unhoused communities, as I'm always talking about, isn't it? The second would fund a master leasing option that the city could use to offer housing for the unhoused. Sweeping people from one place to the next is a cruel whack-a-mole game that does nothing to actually solve the crisis of homelessness in our city. Who facilitates the sweeps? Mayor Hancock. Mayor Hancock declares which unhoused communities will be swept and when. Denver Public Works actually carries out the sweep procedure. Employees install fence around the area to keep us out and keep us from helping and to keep us from documenting. Operate dump trucks and clean, which usually means trashing people's belongings. Private property owners typically leave fences up at sweep sites that restrict access to public easements and ensure unhoused people cannot set up camp there again. We were talking about that also this morning. Denver police officers enforce the sweep process, forcing people to move along now. When met with resistance or asked where people will go, they have no answer and deflect any and all responsibility with a simple, "I'm just doing my job." Linda, I know you made that comment as we were watching the traumatic displacement earlier today. You heard that. Just doing their job. So what can you do about it? A lot, actually. As neighbors, we are stakeholders in these sweeps. Did you hear that? As neighbors, we are stakeholders in these sweeps, meaning that our options matter. When you don't make your opinion known, the city assumes that you support this inhumane process. Sort of like silence is violence, right? Form a coalition with your neighbors to advocate for solutions, not sweeps. Some housed residents have used the Nextdoor app to connect. Regan was speaking about the Nextdoor app the other day, also in some of the a-holes that are on there. But anyway, some housed residents have used the Nextdoor app to connect and organize with their neighbors to advocate for stopping sweeps in their neighborhood. And some of those people, I'll just say this, some of those people are using the Nextdoor app to connect and organize with their neighbors to harass the people living in their neighborhood. But anyway, show up. This is another thing you can do. Show up and stand in solidarity with your unhoused neighbors at the next scheduled sweep or traumatic displacement, as we call it. Bring ready-to-eat food or coffee if you're able. This is an important gesture and can make the situation less terrible for the folks getting swept. It's nice to have a meal on moving day. A hot meal is nice. If the media is present, which they never are, but I try to be there, tell them why you oppose the sweeps. We had somebody from the Denver, I think she said she was she from the Denver Voice or the Denver Advocate out the other day, so that was a good thing. Tell everyone why you oppose the sweeps. Get connected with organizations that work directly to provide support for unhoused people, such as Denver Homeless Out Loud, HOSE, the Comrade Cooperative, Mutual Aid Denver, and the Comrade Collective. Contact your city council members. If you don't know which council member represents your district, you can look it up at denvergov.org. Some city council members are already on the fence on this issue, bother them so much that they are forced to do their jobs and take action against these traumatic displacement sweeps. You can also contact Mayor Hancock to let him know how shameful his actions have been in regard to sweeps. And remember about the, hi, how are you doing? I'm okay. And remember the message to the mayor campaign. I am a human. Oh, bye. Bye, sweetie pie. Have a good night. Okay. So, there's some stuff that you can do about sweeps. I'm not gonna. I don't feel like invading anybody's privacy today, so I hope everything goes out of over there goes well. Bless them and bless you guys. That was it. I just wanted to talk about these fires. So, and you all have a beautiful night. Remember, it is our duty to fight for our freedoms, and it is our duty to win. We must love and support one another, and we have nothing to lose but our chance. So, love you all, and have a good night. Bye.